and this is question 4. You're allowed a calculator, and this one is one of the more easy questions. To calculate the size of angle X in the triangle below. Now this one's not right angled, or at least, well, we don't know if it's right angled, but because we don't know, we can't make the assumption that it is, so we can't use Pythagoras or right angled trigonometry. So we have to use the non-right angled stuff, i.e. the sine and cosine rules that you get on the front page of the exam. So this was the old exam paper, but these are the exact same equations that you get, the formula that you get. You've got the sine rule and the cosine rule. There's two conditions in which you can use the sine rule. You need to know one pair of sides and angles, so you need to know a pair of information. I'll explain what is meant by a pair in a second. And you need to either know a side and you want to find the other angle, or you need to the opposite angle, or you need to know the angle and find the side that it's opposite. So it's one side known and you have to find the angle opposite it. So one side known or the angle, and you have to find the opposite angle or side. So suppose we have a triangle. This, we're going to call this A, B, and C, with the same conventions as you're given on that sheet. So you have A, B, and C. Now suppose we know this angle in here and we know this side. We'll label that small a because it is opposite the angle A, with the angle being denoted with the capital A, and the side is the small letters. So we know them, and we'll put a K for no, and a K for no as in we know those. And suppose we then know either the side B or the angle B, and we want to find the other information. Suppose we know this angle. We write that's known, and we could use the sine rule to find the side B, which is opposite. We could use it to find that. Alternatively, if we know the side B and we want to find the angle B, again the sine rule is used. But we don't have that information. We have 3 sides and we don't know any angles. So we need to know at least one of the angles. We already need to know that in order to use the sine rule, because you have to substitute an angle in that you know to be able to use the sine rule. But the cosine rule, we're looking at this thinking, well, the sides are A, B, and C, the small versions, and the angle is a capital. But in this equation, I will zoom in. We are given small letters on the right hand side and the cosine of capital A. We could use this to then find cosine of capital A, and we're going to then substitute this in. So the idea is that this angle X is going to be in place of capital A. So what we put is cosine of A, and you always want to be super careful with copying these down. Never attempt to guess this formula, because many pupils lose marks because they write something wrong or they mix up the order of the letters. Some people might write cosine of A equals A squared plus B squared minus C squared or something, and the marker will most likely look at it and think you get nothing because you've used the wrong formula. So in most cases you won't be getting any more marks. But we then to BC. So X is the angle capital A, and the side A has to be opposite that angle. So that would be 33. B and C can be any of the others as long as we are consistent. So make B 10 and C 40. And then plug B and C that we chose in the bottom, the denominator. And you're then going to want to use a calculator. Would be a bit difficult if you didn't have one. You want to find the value of cosine of X. 2 points that I want to make are: 1, make sure the calculator is on degrees, and second of all, do not get mixed up between X and the cosine of X. Many pupils would find this value on the right side correctly, and they would claim that this is equal to X, but it's not. It's equal to the cosine of X, and the value of the cosine of X is 0.76375. We're going to then find the inverse of that. So that's going to be, look for the cos minus 1 button. So it will be written like this, or something like inverse cosine. It will be something like one of those. And the answer that we get is going to be 40.2041 degrees, but we'll round it to 1 decimal place, and that's then 40.2, and that would be us done. So we get 40.2 degrees. Not too bad then. This question would definitely be at the easier end of the calculator exam. But I hope you found this useful, and best of luck with the studying. You just have to remember when the sine rule is used and when the cosine rule is used. And if you have three sides and you want to find an angle, you use this version of the cosine rule that's given to you at the front of the exam paper. So thank you for watching